Hello, everyone. Should I say good noon to you or good morning again? Right? So, we are again back with the different subject that is entrepreneurship, right? Now, as we discussed earlier and before some days also, that we'll be dealing with two subjects that are poles apart. One is accounting, one is theory. So, we are done with the accounting part today. We're moving to the next one, that is the fundamentals of entrepreneurship, right? Now, as we discussed, we already started the new chapter, that is the understanding the industrial environment. Now, we'll be dealing with the same one again. We'll be continuing the same part with chapter number 2, understanding the industrial environment, right? So I've been discussing about the industries, what we term as industry, which participants are included in the industries, or what in frame as being what we call as industry. So the meaning has been discussed, what we call industry, how are these members, or how many types of industries are there, because we also seen the classification, right? So let's move to the next one again. Yes. Okay. So last time we have been discussing about the fundamentals of entrepreneurship, right? That chapter number 2 is all about industries, and we need to understand what industries mean by what are the participants of the industries, or what members are included in the industries, how industries work, and in environment, in the sense we need to understand that what is happening around us, being in the society, being in the market, being in the economy. We need to understand whatever is happening around is obviously going to affect our business. So in trying to capture the all over of the market, we need to also understand that whatever happens around us is either internally or externally going to affect our business in whatever may possible. It could be in the favor of the business, or it could be in the you can say adversity of the business, but ultimately it may or may not affect the business in some or the other way, right? So we'll be dealing with the next one. Let's look at the PPT first. Why is it not getting loaded? Okay, yeah. So we've been discussing the points we have been discussed. What does the industry mean by? So basically it is the industry, a group of firms doing the similar business or the products that we are being sold by them. Next, we have also seen about the classification on how many bases that we can classify those. Am I clearly audible, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Chalo. So we have already been discussing about the types of industry or the classification that we are going to discuss about. So we have done on the basis of raw material, that is the first one is agriculture base. From that we need to have agriculture as a primary base, because we call it as a primary industry, or you can say the basic one, from which we get the raw materials for the other industries too. Mineral based, obviously, metal, non-metal, the stones, diamond, gold, silver, whatever we name them. Marine based industries, fishes, sand, then fish industry, all of them are based on the marine based industries. Forest based industries, as we discussed, that forest include the forest resources or the natural resources, as we name it, for example, wood, timber, rubber, glue, or you can say kind of pulp of the trees, papers, furniture from that. So all of them are considered to be the natural one. That is, we call them as forest-based industries. Next one on the basis of the size. So it differs from how much investment is being put out in that particular kind of industry. So the amount of investment decides the size of the business of the industry. So large scale, that means more than 2 crore rupees, and small scale, that is less than 2 crore rupees. And ultimately on the basis of ownership. Now we've been already discussing about the ownership. First one is the private sector, that we call as, for example, Jyoti CNC or Balaji Wafers are one of the examples of private sector companies. Then public sector companies, whatever we name them, Infosys, Reliance, Tata, Aditya, Adani, all of them are the public sector industries or public sector companies. Joint sector means what? Where two of the companies come together to do the business. For example, we are talking about the insurance companies, Bajaj Finance, and we have some Kotak Mahindra. Then we have seen Max New York Life Insurance, where they work with the collaboration with the other foreign companies or the domestic companies too. Then cooperative sector industries, where the group of people work for the betterment of that particular industry. That is known as cooperative sector industries. Basically, it bound to be happen around the societies or the townships that we live in. The residential area basically have those cooperative committees or sectors. Clear, everyone? So we have been discussing up till now in the last lecture. Do you have any problem with the lecture topic that we discussed in the earlier parts? Anyone? Or should we move further? Hello, people. I know looking at me every now and then with the two different subjects could be torture to you, but let's not make it out, because again, both of them are poles apart. One of them is the accounting part, and the other part is the theory one, where we're gonna share the stories, where we're gonna go with the case studies also, right? So be ready for for some fun stories that we will have, but in the later part, not now at least. Yes. Are we clear up till now, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great. Chalo. So next we have the classification, right? So let's look into the classification. So classification on the basis of first the size. So it refers to the amount of capital investment, that how much money we have poured into it, number of people employed, how many number of people, person or how many human forces that we have included in the business to work for us, and the volume of the production, what number of lot or what number of products in quantity we produce, makes the classification on the basis of the size. So further it is classified into two parts: large scale and small scale industry. Large means more than 2 crores of rupees of investment into the business, and obviously small means less than 2 crores. But again, small scale industry is further divided into sub three parts, that is ancillary industries, tiny industries, and cottage industry. So we'll go through them one by one. Okay, am I clearly audible, everyone? Okay,
Yes,
the first one is large scale industry. Now, what do you mean by large scale industries? Where they are thinking about to go or having a fixed assets more than 10 crores. So it says industries which require huge infrastructure and manpower with an influx of capital assets are large scale industries. In India, large scale industries are the ones with the fixed asset of more than 100 million rupees, that is, or rupees 10 crore. So again, a large scale means there is a parameter that they've said they will have fixed assets of more than 10 crore rupees, right? The Indian economy relies heavily on such industries for economic growth, generation of foreign currency, and the creation of job opportunities for billions of Indians. For example, can you name any company who could be included in the large scale industries? So we can continue with the same company for a better understanding.
Tata.
Tata. Okay, so one of the big heads, or you can say, we can say one of the big B's of the industry is Tata companies or Tata Industries. That we call them as large industries because obviously they employ lakhs of people into one unit, and they have more than 100 subsidiaries in India, right? And Jaguar is one of them. Jaguar is the subsidiary of Tata Limited. Is it or not? That we have already been discussed in the last lecture, right? So Jaguar was one of the biggest company that was a rival when they entered India. But again, because of the power of Tata, because of the strength of Tata, Tata captured Jaguar, and now Jaguar becomes the subsidiary of Tata Industries, right? So obviously they employ much of the job creation. They have foreign generation because they also engage in the import and export of the goods, and obviously they are good for the economic growth of the country, because being in the society, being in the industry, being in the country itself or the market, they are one of the person, or you can say one of the entities, business entities, that work for growth of the economy too. Because again, if we talk about the industry, think about the market without Reliance, Adani, Tata, Birla, or whatever you call them. If Infosys, right? If we remove those from the market, do you think Indian market will be stable in terms of the economic growth? Do you think so? If we remove these countries from the market, India will not grow. The growth will stop there, and it will become stagnant, because those are the companies that are the, you can say, backbones, or you can say the pillars of the Indian economic growth. If they will not work properly, the economy will not grow, and if they are removed from the economy becomes stagnant. And that is why all of them are one of the, or you can say, pillars or the backbone of the Indian economy, right? Then we have advantages of having the large scale industries in India. Now, why do we need them? Because we'll discuss them. So they provide an impetus to the industrialization of the country. So you might have studied about the industrial policy of 1991, LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Standard 11th economics. Is it or not? LPG, as we call them. So because of them, India has been on the path of getting developed, because still India is in the developing stage. It is not still developed, it is still developing. Unlike Russia or America, which is already known as developed nations, right? India is still developing, so it is known as developing country. And that is why we need to have on the better work, we need to be on the better side. So they, kind of boost the industrialization policy towards the world economy. Then large-scale industry usually produce capital and basic goods, instruments, machineries, chemicals, etc. These are the basic goods that we need to run an economy, or you can say that are being used in the national market. For everyone who is using the instruments, everyone using machineries. For example, think about a company, think about LG or Sony or Samsung leaving the market, and we do not have any producers that produce fridge, refrigerator, or washing machine or television. Can you think about that? If we remove these companies from this electronics good department or this industry, will there be any big bull or big company that would take the position of Samsung and Sony in terms of AC or TV or fridge, whatever you call? Do you think so? Will they be able to capture that much big portion as compared to Samsung or Sony in terms of television? Yes? Yes or no? What do you think? What is your idea about it? Do you think everyone will have TV in their houses, right? TV, machine, washing machine, fridge are one of the common goods that we need to have in our day-to-day life. So do you think that we can survive without them? And if you do not have those companies, will be having a new company that will produce in such large number of goods? Obviously not. Do you think so? Yes or no?
Madam, we cannot say anything because Amul recently launched 33 new products in just span of 1 week and increased their revenue by 696 crores. So we cannot really estimate anything.
And I'm talking about all the big companies that are, having the highest market capitalization. If we remove all of them, do you think the Indian market will survive?
Yes, because madam, we have too many small markets and too many small producers in order to take over all those. Once those big industries are taken out, the small industries will slowly and steadily start flourish and take over all the empty spaces where the big companies vanished.
Right. So that's what I wanted to say. That you cannot say yes or no at that point of time when the country is growing, right? Because even if it is in the developing stage, many other companies, for example, if you look at the local market or if you look at the international market, we have Lay's. Can we compare Lay's and Balaji wafers? Do you think so? Is there any comparison available? Because Lay's obviously comes from an MNC and Balaji is a local brand. So do you think Gujarati, specifically people living in Gujarat, will leave Balaji and move towards Lay's? Think about that. I agree to the point that Amul has been in the race since so long and it can capture the market all alone without the rivals too. But yeah, again, you need to be clear about others also. You said it clearly. Yeah, Balaji is not a local brand, but I'm talking about an international brand and a national brand. You could term Balaji as a national brand because now they've captured more than 3 states, that is Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. Right? It is being operational in more than 3 states now. So it's not a local brand, it could be not termed as national brand. But I'm talking about a national company and an international company where it is Lay's and Balaji. When we compare both of them, being a Gujarati, what would you choose? Lay's If you ask me, I would not choose Lay's. I will definitely go for biology blindly.
Yes.
What is your case?
Ma'am, I will also go for something Indian that is connected to my nationality. I will go for buying a Tata car over a car which is being imported, because I will have to pay import duties, and Tata car which are manufactured in India will have lower cost and some more features.
But no, when I might have a controversy in this, because if I correct you, you said the example of Tata, but Tata Nano failed, being one of the cheapest, or you can say the only cheapest car in the market, Indian market. It failed very badly.
But ma'am, that failure was due to the advertisement. It was very successful in African region.
But African people are not having money to even have the food. So they are starving out of hunger, and they are dying because they do not have food enough money to buy the food. Think about Indians. Let me talk about Indians first. If you are talking about a cheap, you can say cheap kind of product which is sustainable for a longer period of time, I agree. If one given chance, I would definitely go for the cheaper one first. But thinking about the cheaper, Nano was the cheapest car in India. Nano failed because of engineering. Nothing is having a different idea that Nano failed because of engineering. Sorry, Yash. Yash, can you give an example why it failed because of engineering? I don't think so. Because of engineering, maybe not. Any other? You all know that Nano failed in India badly. Is it or not?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Rishi is also right that because of advertisement and Nano has failed. But if you go through the ratios of Nano, if Nano is going by the road so many times that because of petrol and fuel, it becomes burning car. Many a times without doing or without of accidents also a nano car becomes a burning car on the road. Also sometimes a small accident damages a loss to a lot to a nano car. So because we can say that Tata has tried to give a cheapest car to the India and to the country, but they failed because of the cheapest car. They also you have used the many sources which has not been used as a big cars. So we can say that because of a low comparative engineering.
So, you could say that there is not only one reason. There are many reasons behind the failure of Tata Nano, right? One of them could be engineering, one of them could be advertisement, and another one that I have, that is Indian mentality, right? Why Indian mentality comes into the picture? Because as Indians, we need Sasta, Sundar and Tika. But on the same time, we need to look richer, or we need to look posh or rich. Because again, our egos could
No
not
one in
match.
India wants to be poor.
Yeah. Because everyone aims at high. Because if you ask me, being an Indian, if I'm having an average salary, I'm living in India with a good standard of living, I would definitely think for Mercedes or Jaguar. Why would I consider Nano? How would one person that is living in a middle class family or a lower middle class family would aim at nano car? Do you think so? Nano obviously is budget friendly, or you can say the cheapest car in India, but it does not match with the Indian mentality. And obviously, being in the Indian market, you cannot ignore the mentality of the customers, right? Do you consider my point? Yes or no? That because of it could be one of the reasons that Indian mentality does not match with the nano's mentality. That they wanted to give something better in a cheaper price, but as according to the Indian mindset or Indian you can say ideology, it does not fit in it. Is it or not? Getting my point, everyone? So there are many reasons behind failure of Nano. So if we remove any big head from the market, it is definitely going to affect the market at a larger point of time. Clear, everyone? Hello? Am I audible, clear, understandable? Yes or no, people? Boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Girls? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I hope everyone is getting what we are discussing. Right? Chalo. Moving to the next one. They are capable of generating funds for the research and development of new technologies. Now, again, if you do not have money to purchase the raw material, how can we think about a different department called research and development? And companies with the larger funds and larger employees can only think about research. Otherwise, they are even not able to manage the daily expenses. How would they think about the research? And research obviously needs n number of resources as well as funds. Excess of funds can only result into research. Agreed or not? Think a company which is very new in the market, they need to do research first. And obviously, being a new company in the market, you would be short of funds. So what would you do? What would you prefer? That on the other part, if you do not do research when you enter the market, what would you do to have the primary data like customer base, targeted customer, age group of the customer, taste and preferences, market trends, then economic growth, industrial development. These are the different things that we need to consider when we enter the market. Okay, tell me when you want to become an entrepreneur, when you become a thinking about, assume that you want to become an entrepreneur and you need to start a company tomorrow. So what would you do? Initially, in the first phase, you had an idea, you have a product that you would manufacture, that you would make in the factory and then sell to the market. So what would you do in the first phase? So
Find the target audience.
Okay, so again, we need to find the targets first. Then, chalo, Devansh need to also answer. Yes. Rishi will be asking it individually, right? Okay, chalo, Devansh, what is your criteria to start a business? Devansh should be like, who not need to do the business when the father is earning? Is it or not? Yes, Divya? Divya, what's your idea? Divya, Nilesh, Natik, Yash. Yes, do you have you any dream of becoming an entrepreneur tomorrow? Or have you ever thought about becoming anyone? Yes. No one of you wishes to become an entrepreneur?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so saying only yes does not mean that you will become one. You need to also think about that way, right? Being an entrepreneur, you need to think thousands of things in a single day. So what would you think first? Think about the development of the product, the resources that you need, the machinery that you need, the infrastructure that you need, the kind of employees that you want. What will you think first?
Ma'am, I will personally think about the profit margin which I am going to earn, and how much time will I take to get through a break-even point.
Okay, so what's your idea? What product would you select if you want to enter into a specific industry, or what service you want to offer?
So take as I am getting into automobile industry by say a silencer, then I will first say how much cost there will be to make a silencer, and then I need to see at what prices my competitors will be selling their silencers in the market. And once I gather my information, I will see from where I need to procure raw materials in order to find some good quality raw materials, at the same time cheapest possible raw materials, and then so I can sell at a regular market price to in order and then to in order to earn a decent profit. And then I will have to see how many silencers I will need to sell in order to cover all my expenses, and then even earn profit.
Right. So basically, the first thing that comes to our mind is profit. Whenever we think about any business idea, we will think about the profit first, that how much of money would I gather when I sell that profit after the cost I spent on it, right? As Rishi correctly said, that you need to consider the cost of the product, the raw material, that when will you purchase, how will you purchase, from where do you purchase, where will you get at the cheapest rate, how will you produce it in the cheapest rate, the machineries that will make it cheaper, or the kind of process that will make it cheaper. And then after the process is being already carried out, the selling price that you decide to come to a point where you can have a good amount of profit out of it, that becomes the first idea to start the process of business, right? So again, research and development and of the new technologies because of the funds that we need is one of the important factors when it comes to the new business. Then due to the large scale of operations, they have the potential to the lower the cost of goods. Now, can you anyone tell me what does point mean by lower the cost of goods? How can you lower the cost of goods? There are only two ways. Either you reduce the price or either
Increase,
you increase
increasing
the
the
rate.
production.
Huh?
Ma'am, increasing the production.
Increasing the production. But don't you think cutting down the rate also would work? As we have seen the case of Jio and Vodafone. Have you already witnessed it, right? We have one of the biggest rivalry in the market with Jio and Vodafone. That is VI now, Vodafone and Idea. Why Vodafone needed to have the lowdown because of Jio? Because Jio entered with a bang that was free data services, free 1 GB data every day. Where we were paying, I know I have paid almost 300 rupees or 400 rupees for 1 GB at a month. You might have noticed it when you were kids, right? So you might know that giving free 1 GB and that too for 6 months or 8 odd months was a big decision made by Jio. So how can they lower the cost of the goods before even entering the market? Think about that. No, which strategy has been worked out here? Do you know so? Do you know everyone? Why Jio entered with a zero cost of operations? Not operations, zero cost of production. Yes? Or do you know why Jio succeeded and why Vodafone failed when we compared Jio and Vodafone? Actually, it did not fail, but it get down very easily because of Jio. Yes? You might have been using Jio. Is it or not? Or it was free. We used it very rashly because it was free before 2-3 years. Have you used free data of Jio? Say yes, I have used it. I agree to that point. And obviously, most of us will be agreeing to this point that they have used free Jio, 1 GB data every day. So why Jio on the first day got succeeded because of the free 1 GB data? Anyone have any idea? How can you offer free product to the customer on the spot when you enter the market? Anyone knows? Kaise hua ye? How did it happen like that way? This is the same thing, lowering the cost of goods, or you can say the large scales of operation. Anyone? Hello guys, do you know? Chalo, any random assumption? Why did it get succeeded? कोई तो बता दो. Leslie, Sumbosho, David, Divya. Anyone? No idea?
Ma'am, future expectation.
Future expectation. Okay. It could be one of them, but not exactly what I wanted. Have you heard about this, or am I the only one who knows that Jio has offered free data for 6 months? You all know it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When Jio entered, they offered for 6 months. They offered Jio for free, 1 GB data every day. We had random jokes and songs playing on because of this Jio thing. But why did it get succeeded in no time? Anyone have any idea?
First move.
First move. But think about people giving 300 rupees for 1 GB and you're offering free. Free, that does not mean that you're giving out of your profits, right? Out of your pockets. Would you offer a discount from your pockets to the customer? Do you think so that would work for a longer period of time? See, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you need to be very precise about thinking. You need to think what we are discussing about. Because ultimately, it comes from your mind, not my mind or not this PPT's. We need to be rational about talking about the things. Think rationally. Why Jio succeeded? No idea? Or should I start with that one? Chalo, should I say or you are saying it to me? मैं बता दूं क्या? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's not make it more serious about. You need to find out, it's your homework for the day, that whenever you come to the next lecture, you need to find that why Jio succeeded and why Vodafone let down. Okay, fine. Clear, everyone? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
So the homework for the day that you need to find why Jio succeeded, the reason behind those strategies and those ideas that work for Jio in the better way possible, right? Chal. So obviously we were talking about the lowering of the cost. Either you lower the cost of production and the gap between them will be increasing your profit, or you need to increase the profit margin by having the bulk production, right? You must have heard about DMart. Do you know DMart? How DMart operates, or why they offer cheaper goods, cheaper products because of the bulk purchase. Is it or not? For example, Reliance, DMart, Big Bazaar are one of the kind of what do you call it? Supermarkets, right? They come under the margin of supermarkets. So how does this kind of supermarkets? No, I've been reading an article where the owner of DMart, I forgot his name. You might have heard about him. Let me check. You know who is the owner of DMart? He's one of them of Gujarati. Owner of DMart. Now don't Google it, huh? Let me recall. Okay, yes, Radhakishan Damani. Radhakishan Damani is the owner of DMart chains, right? You know, there are almost 120 plus stores in India of DMart, and even Rajkot itself has 2 or 3, if I'm not wrong, right? So how DMart succeeded? No, Damani is not even 10th pass. He's 10th fail person, and he's running a business that is now in the 1,000 crore rupees of profits, just like Reliance that had started with the bang on. And now we know that people prefer DMart when it comes to groceries. Your mothers would have also been preferring this one. Is it or not? Or if you would also go, you would definitely go to DMart first to buy the groceries. But you would opt for the one, obviously. You have seen DMarts? Yes or no? You live in Rajkot, right? I should not be asking this question, but still I'm asking. I don't know why. Because I wanted to make sure that you have visited DMart. So what made DMart one of the kind of supermarkets that earns into crores of rupees? Just because of the large scale of operations. Because they purchase in bulk, they sell in bulk, and obviously they can offer the discounts to everyone who becomes their customer. Because you have invested something big, so would obviously get return in a big form, right? So that is due to the large scale of operations. They have the potential to lower the cost of the goods. Next one, further, they create opportunities for small scale and cottage industries to evolve and flourish. Now, if the large scale industry is working, they would need the raw material from the lower markets, or you can say lower industries, that we call them as small scale industries and large scale industry, cottage industries. For example, you might have heard that if you're making a car, that we call as automobile industry, right? So you need spare parts, and their spare parts are being made by the small scale industries. So ultimately, small scale industries also flourish or get promoted or get benefited because of the large scale productions of the big companies, right? So in this way, they try to evolve and flourish the small scale industries as well as the cottage industries. Also, the employment opportunities created by large scale industries are huge. Obviously, when you want to start with a company that is very huge in the size, it would definitely opt for the number of employees in a good number, right? Why would students prefer to go to a big company rather to a small firm or a kind of say partnership or whatever you call it as? Okay, given a chance, would you prefer a corporate company or a small scale company? Large scale company or small scale company? Yes, let me make it individual. So Devansh, would you prefer to work in a company or would you prefer to work in a small scale industry? First, my question should be: would you prefer to work? Yes. Anyone? Hello, people. Am I audible or not? Hello. Why am I audible? No one is speaking. How would I know? Nilesh, Natik, Rishi. Am I audible? Devansh.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
why
ma'am.
no one of you is answering? Are you all sleepy already or what? I am working since morning and you are like, nobody's answering. Are you that much tired or already sleepy in the bed? What would I say then? Chal. So obviously they would afford the employment opportunities to large number of people because they need more people to be engaged in the industry. Next we have that is large scale industries in India. Now, how large scale industries benefit India in a longer term or in a progress? So the term large scale is generic in nature and includes different types of industries. In India, the following heavy industries fall under the purview of large scale industries. Basically, we named them industries as one of the big industries because we have India being established on the base of those industries. For example, iron and steel industry, textile industry, automobile manufacturing industry. Over the last 2 decades, information and technology industry has evolved and contributed huge revenues while creating thousands of jobs for Indians. Hence, many economists include it in the large-scale industry sector. And telecom industry. Chalo, we'll have one by one company names that come under this industry. So iron and steel industry. Can you name any 2 companies that come under iron and steel industry? Iron and steel. Company names. I wanted to know the companies that manufacture iron and steel. Or it could be individually, iron industry or steel industry.
Tata Iron and Steel.
Okay, one of them is Tata Iron and Steel. Anyone other? I want 2, minimum 2 of each one of them. Chalo. Iron and steel industries. Iron and steel industries. Examples. Are you don't know the examples? One of them is Tata because you know Tata. What else? SR Steel, if you might have heard, SR Steel, SAIL, Jindal Steel. Yes or no? Steel Authority of India. These are the industries that produce iron and steel. Chalo, next one is textile industry. Can you name textile industries? Or you don't know what is textile is? So automobile we will know.
Vimal franchise.
Yes, Vimal.
Only Vimal.
Vimal. Then Van Hussein. Vimal, Van Hussein. Then one more. I heard it. I didn't get not.
Aditya Birla Club Linen.
Yes, Aditya Birla. So 2 of them are the textile industries. Next one is automobile. Obviously, your favorite one. So would we know? You would get not 2, not you will get me with the 20 names. So let's start. Let's keep it 2 only. 2 automobile industries with the names. We just named them.
Tata,
Tata
Tata
car.
and Volkswagen.
Okay. Tata and Volkswagen. Then IT, as we already said that they have been now been included in the large scale industries because they have been giving us huge revenues and creating jobs for the Indians. So in the IT industries,
Wipro, Infosys, HCL.
yes, Wipro, Infosys, HPL, Google also,
Tata again.
because Google obviously Google comes under this IT head, right? So large number of industries have, you can say large scale industries have contributed towards the development of our nation, right? Clear everyone? Chalo. Now can you tell me any 10 companies that we would work upon? Chalo, now I have an idea. Let me talk about what we call as, you might be given idea about projects that you need to do in the entrepreneurship subject too. Yes or no? You've been preparing the subject projects, right? Yes or no?
No, madam.
No. So what is the deadline for?
I don't know about this subject projects. I guess.
Okay, fine. So let me tell you one thing, that you also need to do a project in entrepreneurship too, just like marketing or human resource management, right? You've been doing the synopsis of this kind, synopsis of these subjects, is it or not? Have you been given any idea about this one? Have Kunal sir said something about this projects? Yes or no? Boys, do you know that you have to make projects? Have you made any projects up till now? You had the deadline on 20th of August, if I'm not wrong. Is it or not? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's not make it complex for you, not complicated. We'll be discussing the project in the next one. Okay, so be ready. We need to have a project discussion in the next lecture that we shall discuss later. But you need to find 10 companies that we can talk upon for the projects, right? So either you suggest the names, because if I will suggest, it would be very random. It would be a kind of pretty much obvious that we would go for them, right? So the details that we'll be sharing day later, but you need to find 10 companies of your choice that you can work upon. For example, it could be Reliance, it could be Tata, it could be Infosys, it could be Wipro, it could be DMart, it could be Big Bazaar. It's your choice, right? So think about the companies. Just have a list of 10 companies that we can talk upon, and we shall discuss them in the next one and decide that what project or what company we shall select for our projects. Clear, everyone? Hello. So mind well, you have two homeworks today. One, you need to make a list of 10 companies that you can work upon for the project of fundamentals of entrepreneurship. And the other one, why Reliance Jio got succeeded in no time when they will have rivals like Vodafone and Idea, right? Clear, everyone? So let's make it cut short, and we will be stopping out here because I know it's been already overhead, or you can say overload from my voice. It becomes tiring when you have the same faculty for two different subjects like accounting and entrepreneurship, but I'll make sure that I do not make it boring, any one of them for you. Am I clear, everyone? Up till now, any problems, any doubts for whatever we have
No, ma'am.
discussed about today? It could be, so we will keep both of them different. We'll be talking about account in the lectures of account only, and we'll be dealing with entrepreneurship in the lectures of only entrepreneurship. Clear? So let's not make it complicated, and we'll keep both of them in a different path and on a different topics. Clear? So we'll be stopping out here, and we'll be discussing the same in the next one. So that's for today. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.